One day, one race, tens of thousands strong, all of them in our city, because in Atlanta we run. On the 4th of July, we celebrate our country, our family, and our everyday heroes living among us. We cheer on our friends, we celebrate our military, we revel in survivors' courage. This is Atlanta at its best, a city, a race, and we're all in it together. These are your stories, your comebacks, your victories. This is the ajc-Peachtree Road Race, start to finish. One day and one big 4th of July party in Atlanta. Hello again, everyone. I'm Jeff Hullinger. For the 54th time, our city hosting the biggest 10K in the world. Over the course of the next hour, we will show you what truly makes this event special and unique to our city. It is all about competition, and it's all about community. We begin tonight with the race itself, filled with elite runners and some real superstars. Here's how the men's and women's races were decided.
Waiting for the gun. And they're off. The elite women now take to the course in this 54th running of the ajc-Peachtree 10K Road Race. And Carrie, as they begin these early steps, you've got another elite deep field here in Atlanta.
We sure do, and you can see right in the middle of the pack there in the red and black, Atlanta Track Club's very own. That's Emma Grace Hurley. She grew up right here in Roswell, Georgia. She was the top Georgian last year. She is running very well this year. She's done super well on the USATF circuit. She's really excited to get into this group. And, you know, anytime you have awesome runners up front, they pull you to great times, and that's what Emma Grace Hurley is looking for today.
Sinberi Teferi of Ethiopia looking at her watch, trying to hold on as she has challenges from Chelangat of Kenya and Yeska also in the mix as they come toward the finish line.
Tesfaye, Chelangat, Sinberi Teferi, and look at him now, Sinberi Teferi trying to time this out. Can she do this right now? She looks like she is moving fast and moving hard.
Poise and focus and staying relaxed as you run downhill. Again, another check of the watch, a quick look to the right, and Teferi is trying to get herself to the finish line. Look at the moves back and forth, and Teferi is now...
Oh, no!
Did she go off course?
Right turn. It looks like she went off course.
Teferi went off course, and she's, oh no, and she's gone to the wrong side of the finish line. Teferi now trying to catch up. Oh my goodness.
Watching the clock, they are going to be over the course record.
And Tesfaye Yeska is going to win the 54th edition of the AJC 10K Pro Road Race. Oh my goodness. What a disaster for Teferi, who was in the lead, holding her position, and somehow got misdirected and took a right turn. It looked to be following a motorcycle, and she was off course.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but Hailu Tesfaye, she was on top of it. She was watching every move. She knew to stay straight. It is unfortunate for Sinberi Teferi. She still crossed the finish line. She did her celebration dance. She's thankful for this awesome opportunity, but it looked like Hailu Tesfaye was the one that broke the tape. She is a phenomenal athlete. She's only 25 years old, Ethiopian. She was 5th at World Cross Country in 2023 here. She's very good over the hills and over courses like this where you have ups and downs and turns. So she just really was composed, and she kept it together and broke that tape. You know, a lot of times when someone makes a wrong turn, it throws you, but she kept right on the course, and she knew to stay straight.
The other 49,500 people ready to take the course. What a scene that is, and what organization by the Atlanta Track Club and everyone else who makes a moment like this happen. And the men are off in the 54th running of the AJC Peachtree Road Race.
And one of my favorite things we saw in all black in the sunglasses on the side of the elite side, Ben Blankenship. He's a 2016 1,500 meter runner, and he said this is one of his bucket list things to do. He's moving on up to the marathon.
Yeah.
But he said, I got to come and get in on what is happening here in Atlanta on the 4th of July. You see him right in the middle of the pack here, and it's just really cool to hear him say, even though he's run the Olympic Games, he's done all these things, that's why he wants to be here, because there's people that are crazy enough to try to go out in front of the elite athletes. Yeah, someone we haven't talked about, and a lot of people know his name, Edwin Kurgat. He's an NCAA champion here. in the States on the right-hand side of the screen, right there, leading right now. You know, a lot of times I think we are used to seeing him in his Iowa State uniform. He's not in the red and yellow anymore.
And I saw him with the hat on yesterday.
I know, right?
He's a
likes
proud.
to wear gloves and hat. He's used to being in the colder weather.
Yeah.
And he still trains in Iowa. But he has, you know, such an interesting story. His sister and his aunt convinced him to start running because they saw opportunity for him to get over here to the States. He's from Kenya, but he's very good. And he hasn't really been running much as a professional runner. This is one of his first big races as a pro, and for him to be leading this race. But right now we see Gabriel Gay say, I want to take charge right now, and he is pushing hard.
And now it's about managing your sprint speed and form and trying to hold on and make sure you don't make a wrong turn to the finish line.
That is so smart, though, for you to say that, because this is a long stretch. So to control yourself but still put the pressure on. Gabriel Gay, we know he can run 10K. He just won the BAA 10K in a very fast time. But he does. He's coming off of those marathon legs, too. So does he have the wheels to carry this out for the next 800 meters? Those guys are not going away behind him.
Yeah, just look at Gay's face. You see his hands now. He's trying to make sure he keeps them pumping, but his face and his mouth tell me that he's laboring. But again, the ability, the natural God-given ability is there. Of course, the training as well. But now can he manage another uphill as they now come within 500 meters of the finish line? Gabriel Gay of Tanzania just on the left, trying to hold off a pack of four to his right. And everybody trying to figure out, when do I make a surge to try and get past Gay and win this race?
Edwin Kurgat, the guy that everyone knows from in the States. He is Kenyan, but he is keeping that pressure on. Look at him. He is coming back. Gabriel Gay still is in charge. He still has a little bit, but Edwin Kurgat, he's the fresh face. He's the fresh legs of the professional running scene, and he is closing that gap.
Believe that is Charles Longat of Kenya closing. We mentioned him in the white singlet. Look at this. There's Longat now, who is pulled up alongside of Gay.
Longat is such a phenomenal athlete as well. He's one of the fastest in the field. He is somebody that we have to say is a sub-27-minute 10K, 26:57. He's coming off of a PB in January, so there was a little bit of an unknown. He ran so well at the beginning of the year, and now he looks like he is really coming in strong.
And Carrie, look at the difference in the face of Longat there on the right in the white singlet. He looks relaxed and comfortable, in charge, as he now looks to get to the finish line before Gay. Gay is now behind, trying to hold on, but Charles Longat, who came with a surge, they're actually touching each other, and it looks as though Charles Longat is going to get to the finish line first to win the 54th annual AJC Peachtree 10K Classic. What a race and what a finish.
Charles Longat sort of surprising us in the final 400 meters, sneaking up, looking like he has that same white singlet that, Edwin Kurgat has. But no, it was Longat, and he was the guy we didn't mention early on. We should have mentioned him early on. He was fourth at Cherry Blossom. He came in to the year of 2023 with such great pedigree. 26:57 he ran in 2023. But like I said, just didn't seem like the last couple races were his. But today it was all his, and he timed it out perfectly.
Good. I'm very happy for it. So it makes me to feel good and compete again. To give me hope in running.
The last meters went by really fast, and it was really exciting, and time was going by really fast, so I just had to push myself harder. There was a little bit of an issue when I was trying to stick with Sambera and she took the wrong turn, and that was almost confusing for me, but it was good to just finish the race strong and finish fast.
One longtime runner had a very difficult path to Peachtree. To say that there were bumps in the road is an understatement, but it didn't stop her from showing up at the start line for the 19th time. Liza Lucas reports from Athens.
Take a winding walk with Olivia Carlisle and you'll discover someone who leans into life in its twists and turns.
My thought process is I come to a fork in the road and I take it.
That perspective produced many paths of art, adventure, and sport.
Lots of chapters.
Absolutely.
Olivia also not one to shy away from showing her appreciation for life.
Thank you, dear Heavenly Father.
Knowing every change in course
to all
carries
the good
purpose, even the words that led her here.
Pancreatic cancer. This is one of life's detours.
Following a diagnosis in August, chemotherapy, surgery, Olivia taking it in stride,
Metamorphosis from caterpillar.
inspiring her doctors and nurses like Donna.
She got this diagnosis. She came at it 90 to nothing. She did have some tiny detours, but nothing deterred her.
A window will close and then the door will open. And God puts people in my path for a reason.
And on July 4th, she'll join thousands of others down the path of Peachtree Street, cancer-free, ready to take her mark in her 17th race.
It's just a real pleasure to be there and to keep going and to keep moving.
And when it comes to the finish line,
Oh, I'm going to take off like a rocket. There's no doubt about it. I will run across that finish line.
It was back in 1970, the first Peachtree. Your winner, Jeff Galloway. He was an Olympian in 1972 in Munich, and since then he has been a pillar of the Atlanta running community, including his own store, Fidipides, in the Ansley Mall in Midtown. Not even a 2021 heart attack can slow him down. We caught up with Jeff, as we often do during Peachtree Week.
This is an incredible event, and it's been transformative for thousands of people. I've already talked to several hundred people at this expo who changed their life as a result of training for this event. And actually, because I won the first race, it set me on a path to try to lead others into this through my store Fidipides and my training programs and the Kaiser Permanente race. And as a result of this, I'm the beneficiary of hearing all these wonderful stories. My method is called Run, Walk, Run. And it's all about having the right combination of the two so that you can maintain your energy and your muscle resources all the way to the finish. And we build people gradually up to 6 miles, and then they're ready to do this amazing event.
You think you train anybody? You think you train me?
Anyone. I can train you. I'm ready.
Still to come, all in the family. For this couple, the Peachtree is an annual tradition, 25 years and counting. Now they are teaching their children well about the power of the Peachtree. 2 generations, 1 race. Their story is coming up next. Each year, one of the highlights of our race coverage, Jerry Carnes, who roams the finish line in Piedmont Park, finding the most colorful characters, the most inspiring stories. And of course, our first look at that coveted t-shirt. This year's no exception. Who better to capture the true spirit of the Peachtree than Jerry Carnes?
Sometimes victory isn't about crossing the finish line first. For Amanda Back, it's about crossing the finish line while thinking of Dad.
He actually got me into running this race.
Father and daughter ran the ajc-Peachtree-Road-Race together 15 times. Now it's his spirit that keeps her running.
He passed away very suddenly in 2021, so I wear this shirt and we run it every year in honor of him.
And I'm sure he was here with you.
I think so. I felt him the whole way.
Dad was watching over Alyssa and Andrea Walls.
Peachtree was his favorite race. He was a big runner. He did, I think, 37? I don't know, 37 or 38 Peachtrees.
Greg Walls passed away 2 years ago.
I'm not a runner, and I ran, I'd say, 95% of it. So, pretty proud of myself right now.
And Dad's proud of you.
He is.
Sometimes victory comes when you don't run at all. 92-year-old Bill Thorne had run every Peachtree Road Race until this year. After getting a ride to the finish line, he lifted his hands one more time. It's a victory over the walker he typically needs to get around.
What was it like not taking part today? I know it had to be tough for you.
Well, not really. I had already set my mind to not do it.
It's a family affair for Summer Evans, who ran this year's Peachtree while 12 weeks pregnant.
I found out I was pregnant. I had already signed up, so I thought, hey, why not? I've already been training.
And there's Chris Tucker and his 2 sons, the 3 of them running the Peachtree together for the first time.
So I figured I'd try to do it. And then my son started running cross country, so I picked it up again. And then now my youngest son has run it for the first time.
Fun, you do it again, you'll be back?
Yeah, I'll do it again.
They come back year after year after year to triumph over injury or grief, or just to take part in an event that is a victory for the entire city of Atlanta. At the finish line, Jerry Carnes, 11 Alive News.
There are many things we love about the Peachtree. For some, it's pure fun, but for others, it is a real challenge. And it doesn't get any more challenging than the stretch of the race called Cardiac Hill, right near Piedmont Hospital. Photojournalist Hunter Joyce and Chesley McNeil show us the ups and downs as runners try to conquer cardiac.
How many years?
40 years in a row.
And?
41. This is my 12th.
12?
Yeah, probably 10.
We've been out here for 9 years together.
9 years together.
And all total, I've done 15 Peachtree road races through the years. Yeah.
This is number 9.
Number 9?
Number 9.
Why do you keep doing it?
Because my wife makes me.
This is my 19th year.
19th
year, 2 times in the Middle East. Thank you. Shout out to everybody serving our country this good day.
Tell everybody what you do after this.
I go home, take a nap.
Talk to me. How's the race been so far?
Oh, man, we're killing it.
You killing it?
We're killing it so bad.
Did you run all the way up?
I'm run all the way from the beginning to, I'm almost there.
I saw you walking back there, and then when you passed me, you started.
I'm walking, get a drink. Then I'm going to finish it up strong.
Planning on stopping in 34.
34?
2034.
Okay, wait a minute.
I'll be 80 years old.
Peachtree saved my life. It transformed my life, so I love doing it every year.
In what way?
I was depressed from sexual assault, and this really lifted me out of it, so here I am.
Man,
love it.
Nice, very nice.
Last December, on the 4th, I had a heart attack.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're walking today, and it's hard to walk, you know. I want to run past everyone.
It just means the world to me that he's still around and that we're still able to do this together.
Happy 4th of July!
That's what it's all about right here, ajc-peachtree-road-race. You made it up Cardiac Hill! You made it!
Some run to stay in shape, others run to compete, but one Ackworth family of 6 runs to spend time together, and now they plan to use the ajc-Peachtree-Road-Race to hit a special milestone together. Christy Diaz shares their story.
In the early morning hours, when the deer quietly graze and the sidewalks are still dark, count on one thing to break the silence of the night.
And today we're going on our morning run.
This Ackworth family, feet pounding the pavement for their daily run.
Girl Kelly, father Abraham, right here, and their children.
Turning silence to singing.
As many suns, and many sunshine, baby.
As the sun begins to rise.
We're at 3.37. Like a little over a mile and a half left.
Every morning at 4:30, Mom and Dad, Kelly and Abe Owen, and their 3 girls, Elle, Lily, Kate, and Brinkley, peel themselves out of bed to run together. Their youngest, Blaze, stays home for now.
We usually get up about, I guess, a little before 5. Try to be out the door by 5.
I've learned to not think. You just do. You can't, because you will always justify not running at 4:30 in the morning. But you never regret going.
This love of running started with the parents who ran their first Peachtree together 25 years ago in 1998 when they first started dating. Together, they've tackled marathons on the road and in life. 4 kids later, they've passed the running gene down to the next generation. Their 2 oldest daughters run cross country for Harrison High School. Their youngest 2, Blaze and Brinkley, run with Junior Hoyas, the middle school running program. That's what inspired them to start running their neighborhood together to help the girls train for cross country. But they all say it's become more than that.
Like, help motivate each other and push each other, which I feel like has been helped us get closer.
I get excited just to be there with all my children, and you know, running is something that it's just sweet to see your kids fall in love with something that you have fallen in love with and just follow in your footsteps.
5 of the Owens have run the Peachtree before, but this year, for their 25th anniversary run, they're taking the whole family, all 6 of them, tackling Peachtree Road together on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting because we're all doing it together.
Every other day of the year,
Enjoy our run.
they'll be here, back on the sidewalks of Ackworth before sunrise, running with and for each other.
Try the camera. It's a little shaky, y'all.
Always reaching whatever the finish line is together.
Good job, guys. Good job.
In Cobb County, Christy Diaz, 11 Alive News.
Straight ahead on Start to Finish, the AJC Peachtree Road Race has its own youth movement. We'll take you inside the unpredictable fun that is the Peachtree Junior. Plus, running for Jimmy, a Douglasville man left an amazing legacy of running. So amazing, his friends will carry it on in his memory. It's a story you don't want to miss when Start to Finish continues. This year's big event started Sunday morning with the Peachtree Junior. Kids 6 to 14 ran a 1-mile race, while the younger kids ran a 50-yard dash. And as always, they had great fun.
And this is a great way to introduce the Peachtree tradition to the next generation in Atlanta.
We've been practicing with her all week to see how she can run, so it's great. It's nice, yeah.
The 54th AJC Peachtree Road Race is in the record books, and one man has been there for all but 10 of them, a true Ironman of the world's largest 10K. Ariana Maniz has his story.
We did it! For some, the AJC Peachtree Road Race is just a 10K.
Nice day for going walking and running.
For Paul Simpson, there's a science behind it all.
It's physics, because when you run up a hill, I don't want to be doing this. You wear yourself out.
Simpson, once a health physicist with the CDC, uses his scientific knowledge to his advantage.
Take that stride, and you still be at the top of the hill before these guys who run at full speed, because you bring yourself up and run up the hill going against gravity.
Gravity and the law of motion carried him to the finish line 42 years in a row. This race is his 43rd. His goal is to make it to 50.
If I get to 43, I got 50. Hey, what's the problem? I'm there now.
His journey to 50 started decades ago. You remember this race?
I remember that, and that was, see, I started in 1980. But you can see, when I got plenty, I can go with the big boys, see?
It's now a yearly tradition. He trains by running 3 miles a day to prepare his body for the high and low moments of the 6.2-mile run.
Which is usually the first half of the race, you're good. It's the second half, where you have the taller hills and more distances, you have to be prepared. I always have enough energy. I'm gone. It was no big deal.
And when he's not preparing for a run,
I am a collector of objects and things.
He's collected every moment of his years running the Peachtree, like the time he ran with his family.
It was a very exciting day. And it was so exciting that I feel like I didn't even win a race that day.
Keeping every medal and shirt from each race.
See how you see Peachtree standing out underneath there?
And just like the law of physics states, objects in motion will stay in motion.
You know, I don't know when to stop. That's the problem.
Simpson says he too will always stay in motion, moving to the finish line.
Gravity comes in. It's falling down the hill. I'm floating.
Still to come on Start to Finish, a near tragedy turns into friendship and then triumph 1 year later. Plus, 98 years young, the ever-present Betty Lindbergh is a name everyone in Atlanta running circles knows. And she's at it again at this year's AJC Peachtree Road Race. Welcome back, everyone. This is the AJC Peachtree Road Race, start to finish, and some of the all-time legends of this event are in the wheelchair division. These are amazing athletes and true superstars of the division. Here's a look back at the finishes of the men's and women's wheelchair races as seen here on 11 Alive.
It is a beautiful morning. The sun has just come up. We're right around 73 degrees. Again, the humidity is high, around 88%. But this race is going to be so very quick. And Amanda, as you look at the athletes on the starting line, what are your thoughts? You've done this about 15 times.
Lewis, this is the moment of truth. Everyone is trying to stay relaxed, trying to stay calm, trying not to get too tight because this start is going to go off really, really fast.
And there is Daniel Romanchek of the United States, who has won this race 5 times, going for win number 6. And just to his right there with the beard is Aaron Pike, also of the United States. So this is going to be a battle from the start to the finish.
Absolutely.
The men's wheelchair division is on course, and rolling strong is Daniel Romanchek of the United States. Look at that gap, the lead that he has on the field, and Romanchek continuing to make his way toward the finish line. And Amanda, we've talked about the temperatures being mild, but the humidity is high. How might it be affecting him and the other racers?
The temperature today is perfect for a wheelchair racer, but it's the humidity that's the real challenge. If you look at Daniel, the way he's pushing his chair, his hands are closed in a fist, and on his hand he has a glove. That glove's coated in rubber, as are the hand rings that he is pushing on, and we rely a lot on friction to move forward as wheelchair athletes. So as soon as you get a little bit of moisture in there, some rain, if you slip and get a little bit of blood on there, it makes climbing particularly really, really difficult.
Well, Romanchek is so far out there. He has his own police escort behind him, and he is making his way on another climb. How tough are these climbs now as you get toward the end of the race?
This is where your arms are really, really burning.
Is this Heartbreak Hill?
This is Heartbreak Hill.
This is it.
If this is a little mini Boston Marathon, this is the Heartbreak Hill.
And Daniel Romanchek at the top of the screen there has made the turn, the left turn onto 10th Avenue. And now look at the speed he's picking up, making his way toward the finish line. Straight shot.
He's sprinting. Now he's tucked in, down, coasting. He knows that he is all alone. He doesn't need to sprint anymore. This is just a tuck and coast into the finish.
What a feeling that must be for American Daniel Romanchek, who is trying to win his 6th Peachtree 10K road race. Looks to be on course for that. And now the question will be the time. He owns the course record of 18 minutes and 11 seconds. And so we'll watch the time on the bottom right of your clock to see if he gets that right now at 18:38. So he's not going to get it, but still rolling very, very fast.
Still an incredible race, an incredible performance. And he's looking really, really strong.
Romanchek continuing the downhill portion of this last few meters, coming to the finish line. No one else in sight. American Daniel Romanchek coasting, maintaining his speed on 10th Avenue.
He's looking strong. He knows that this is his. He's had a lot of battles with Marcel Hug lately, and this is a great victory under his belt.
And so Daniel Romanchek approaches the finish line, and to the cheers of the crowds here in Atlanta, he will win his 6th Atlanta AJC Peachtree 10K road race. Because the women are about to take the course, and of course it is Susanna Scaroni who leads the women field, expecting to have another great performance. At least that's what she hopes, and they are now underway.
Just like Daniel, Susanna is taking it off hard. She's already got a gap on the rest of the field, and she wants to be alone. Susanna likes to control her own pace. She likes to push it hard, and if there isn't anyone else with her, then she doesn't have to worry about what they're going to do.
I mean, Scaroni is gone already, and she will hold that tempo throughout the race?
Absolutely. Susanna is in the best shape of her life. She's coming off of a string of marathon wins from the fall. She just set a new world's best time at the New York Mini, which is 22 seconds under her course record here. After this, she's heading to the World Championships to defend her 5K Paralympic gold medal. Susanna in that climb now is running 18:56. She could be in the running for another course record here at the Peachtree Road Race today.
And Susanna Scaroni again coming to Atlanta and dominating this course. Well, Scaroni is going to hear the cheers of these crowds who have made their way to the finish line area where we are. waiting to welcome her across the finish line to another victory here in Atlanta. What an athlete. Winning in 2018, last year as well. The course record holder, the three-time Paralympian, headed toward the finish line here once again to win in Atlanta.
She is sprinting hard, keeping it moving. She's about to hit that steep downhill. She's going to tuck in and roll about 25 to 30 miles an hour right across the finish line. Here it is, and she is getting close. Still, no one in sight behind her. She is so far ahead of the rest of the women's field. She has been dominating all season, and this is no exception.
And with a flag to indicate that she should continue left as she's going to the finish line, American Susanna Scaroni will win her third 54th AJC Peachtree 10K road race here in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was just kind of a go out and kind of just see what time I could get right now, and just kind of take it a step at a time.
Well, you know, I just had honestly a great push this morning. I felt strong the whole time. We had great weather, and just gave it everything I had today.
As we all know, the AJC Peachtree Road Race is a fight to the finish. It is gritty, it's grueling, and it tests everybody who chooses to accept this July 4th challenge. And in some cases, triumph is born of tragedy. As Caitlin Ross reports, for one duo, the struggle is worth every step.
Use her as a ball. That's a traffic violation.
Officer Melinda Lim isn't going to write Willie Hatchett a ticket.
Make sure you get that.
But their story spells out inspiration.
She cares about the people, the relationship in the community.
Willie met Officer Lim on the AJC Peachtree Road Race course last year, but he never saw her.
And I heard so many great things about her, how she cared for me.
He was just a mile into the race when he went down.
I collapsed a mile into the race.
Willie suffered cardiac arrest, and Officer Lim was the first to respond.
Everything was moving, everybody was running, and all of a sudden I see Willie just stop, and he just collapsed.
Doctors and nurses on the course rushed in to help.
We just kept taking turns doing CPR because it was so hot, it was so strenuous.
After they got Willie into the ambulance, Officer Lim didn't see him again for months.
I was worried about Willie. I needed to know if he was okay. It was very concerning to me because he was down for so long.
When Willie got out of the hospital, the two built a friendship, step by step.
Willie is a great father. He's a great friend. He's a great husband. I have heard nothing but great things about him.
Those small steps adding up to a big idea.
Officer Lim told me, if you want to do it, I would do it with you.
They plan to walk Peachtree together next week. Their friendship will endure long past the finish line.
There'll be some times when I'm having a hard day at work and I forget why I do what I do. And then I remember Willie. I remember you're one of the reasons why I do what I do.
Reporting in Atlanta, Caitlin Ross, 11 Alive News.
If you have followed our coverage of the Peachtree over the past few years, you know the story, the saga of Betty Lindbergh. She is back at it again, only 2 years shy of her 100th birthday. As Jerry Carnes shows us, 98-year-old Betty is not here to win the race, but she continues to make history every 4th of July.
Betty Lindbergh doesn't hold back when she talks about her performance on Peachtree Street a year ago when she was 97 years old.
It was terrible. I had to stop at least 6, 7, 8 times. I was hurting.
Like she does every year, Betty vowed she would never take part in another AJC Peachtree Road Race, only to change her mind. Before moving south, Betty lived in Minnesota, North Dakota, and Chicago. She and her husband both worked for Northwest Airlines. When the company moved them to Atlanta in 1958, running was not a part of her routine. She was 64 years old when she got her first taste of the Peachtree. The Atlanta tradition grabbed her and hasn't let go.
I wonder if these youngsters that start in their teens, maybe even high school, if I had started at that age, I maybe would have been tired of running. I mean, I don't know. I really don't think many of them last until 98.
We have followed Betty through the years, from her Peachtree adventures to the age group world record she has set on the track. Preparing for Peachtree at the age of 98 brought a couple of new twists, a dietitian and a training plan prepared by a running expert. Each year seems to bring more cameras, more microphones, more attention. Betty wonders, why all the fuss?
It does give me some pleasure, but I'm really astonished that people think it's something great. I mean, I feel so good.
Betty Lindbergh already has an eye on next year and the 55th running of the Peachtree. She'll be 2 months short of her 100th birthday. After that, what about one more?
Who knows? I probably will be dull enough to try it. It's the 4th of July. Everybody's celebrating the independence of our country. And then to have an occasion when you're doing the largest 10K in the world, you just say, well, I'm really participating in a lot of good things for this one day.
To top it all, there's now a great-granddaughter to cheer her on. Maybe, just maybe, tiny Gwen will inherit great-grandma's longevity and her passion for Peachtree.
Rick Garney here with a big news item from the 54th AJC Peachtree Road Race. The legendary Bill Thorne is hanging up the running shoes. Coming into this year, he's the only person to run every Peachtree dating back to 1970. His streak ended today, but the 92-year-old received a hero's send-off. Jerry Carnes with more on his amazing streak.
Tell me about that first Peachtree.
Well, it was some awful looking outfits that everybody wore because there was no set outfit. I ran in my old Ripple Soles coaching shoes, and you always had socks. I don't remember whether they were long or what, but you just put together just about anything. 154 entered it, and only 110 finished.
What hooked you on it, on that particular race?
I just guess my whole background and the way I was structured, I would just show up every year and go, and no one ever started saying anything about it until the 25th year. And that's what they gave me, the 25th year. And then after the 50th one, they gave me that.
What's your fondest memory from the race?
My granddaughter has run it with me before all the way, and so has Cheryl. At one time, I had a whole bunch of them in the family.
What made you decide that's enough, I can't do another one?
That was a hard decision. My two daughters, they have a lot of influence with me, and I'm well done.
Did they feel like it had just gotten too much for you?
I'd say they lean towards that, yeah.
What are you going to miss most about participating in Peachtree?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm kind of relieved. I'm kind of glad. Oh, I'm definitely at peace with it now, yeah.
The AJC Peachtree Road Race has always been about our community, the running community, of course. But it's also about fellowship, friendship, inspiring others, and in some cases, running for those who inspired us. There's another purely Peachtree story about a man who ran often, and now others are running for him. Here is Cheryl Preheim.
You might think most Peachtree Road Race stories begin outside on a track. But this one starts inside in a community of faith, First United Methodist Church in Douglasville. It's where Jimmy Haddle grew up.
Jimmy was born on Valentine's Day, 1940. Was so appropriate because he had the biggest heart you ever knew.
And he's the type of guy that said, Jimmy, we need a donation from you for the Boy Scouts. He said, how much? He'd write a check.
He was
just one of those people that would do whatever was needed and, you know, never gripe about it, never complain.
Jimmy's friends, Dawn DeClerc and Kip Berry, spent time with him every morning at the gym before work, a morning ritual that lasted decades. While working out, they learned just how much Jimmy meant to his community. He was quarterback for his high school football team and served as a lieutenant in the Army. In Douglasville, he was Mr. Peachtree.
So he also super patriotic, and so July 4th was, you know, like his Super Bowl.
So I went up, knocked at his office door one day and introduced myself, and I said that I wanted to run the Peachtree Road Race. Well, from that day on, we were best friends.
Like after the race that year, you would see that shirt, you know, constantly, you know, year after year, you know, worn and tattered. He loved his Peachtree shirts.
Nothing could keep Jimmy away from the Peachtree. In September of 2006, Jimmy suffered a heart attack and still made it to the finish line in 2007. But last year, just 2 weeks after completing his 49th race, Jimmy Haddle passed away following a brain aneurysm, just one race short of his lifetime goal of running 50 Peachtrees.
The last time I saw Jimmy was on Wednesday before he passed at the gym that morning. Had his Peachtree Road Race shirt on. And then that Sunday morning, I was out of town, and I actually got a call from somebody from a Sunday school class, you know, that something had happened to Jimmy and he was at the hospital, and, you know, my heart just broke.
Well, I was there when he passed, and it was very emotional.
Jimmy's death left everyone heartbroken, but they resolved to finish what he started. While speaking at his funeral, Pastor Roger Vest came up with an idea of running Jimmy's 50th Peachtree for him.
I just had this idea. I came up, I said, I think it'd be a neat way of honoring him. You know, this thought just came to me, and after the service, I talked to Dawn DeClerc, and she said, several of us from his spin class are already talking about this. We're going to make this happen.
Because he was such just a positive light. And so I wanted to, you know, to be able to help to do this for him this year, because as a tribute to Jimmy.
They got right to work recruiting 49 people to run for each year Jimmy ran, even using some unconventional ways to recruit people to put on their racing shoes.
I baptized 16-year-old son of this couple, and I heard they were running. The 16-year-old was on the cross-country team, and I said, I've got an opportunity for you. And they signed up immediately.
And they'll be running in Jimmy's Peachtree t-shirts that Dawn and Kip sold to raise money for his favorite Douglasville charity, Loving Hands.
So this is a Jimmy Haddle original, and as I said, Jimmy loved his shirts, and they were very worn and tattered. This one's 1977, and so the day of the race, then I'll run wearing, representing Jimmy for his year of 1977.
What began at a funeral is now a real celebration of life. 49 Jimmys running for what would have been his 50th race.
Because he meant so much to so many people and so much to the community. What a better way to celebrate my dear friend than to be able to do this for him.
Next, another reason we love the Peachtree, the return of 11 Alive's runner camp. What better way to get the feel of the blood, sweat, and tears it takes to conquer the world's largest 10K than to see it through our own reporters' eyes and feet. You're watching the AJC Peachtree Road Race start to finish. Running or walking 6.2 miles in warm, muggy weather is not an easy accomplishment, not an easy feat. And we know because our team was right there running beside you in the race. And here is a look at Joe Ripley, Caitlin Ross, and Cody Alcorn and their journey from start to finish with a whole lot of stops and a whole lot of fun along the way.
All right, welcome to Team Runner Cam here at the AJC Peachtree Road Race. I'm Joe Ripley. This is my second time running the race. We've got Caitlin as well, and we've got Cody Alcorn.
It is my first race, so I'm super excited to be out here.
My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing. Go, 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 go! Land where my fathers died.
We made it to mile 1 and have encountered a small technical issue. Cody Alcorn rating this situation.
It's a 1. We're at our first one of the race.
Any levels? Does it work? Land of the Pilgrim's Pride.
Made it to mile 3, halfway point of the Peachtree Road Race. At this point, there's no way out. We can only go through. Yes, a 10! We made it to mile 5.
Barely. I'm in a 10.
A 10?
2 hills
are so hard.
We're gonna finish strong.
Almost there.
If you are from Atlanta, make some noise.
From every mountainside, let freedom ring. Here we are, we made it to the finish of the AJC Peachtree Road Race.
Yes!
11 Alive Runner Cam team on point, I think. Thoughts?
We made it.
Yeah, I think we did great. I mean, the rain helped cool it down, so, I mean, we did it for the shirts. So
look at this shirt. Beautiful peach color there.
Can't beat it.
Skyline. It's hard to beat on Independence Day, 4th of July. We had a blast.
We had so much fun. Cody, what do you give this race? First time out.
Of course, an 11.
Too good.
An 11. All too good. Thanks for joining us, y'all. Take care.
54 races now in the books. And for many reasons, this will be one we will never forget. We want you to keep sharing your memories with us on the 11 Alive Facebook page. And you can also download our app to take another look back at the history of this incredible 4th of July tradition. For everybody involved in this great production, we want to thank you for watching the AJC Peachtree Road Race start to finish. Happy 4th of July.